Up with KREM begins now.
While you were sleeping, snow fell all over the inland Northwest. We want to get to video here. Here's a look at video from Pullman on your left, where you can see snow-covered roads on the Palouse. And then take a look at the video on the right. It's from I-90 in Spokane. Huge snowflakes covered the interstate around 2:30. Conditions worsened as the storm moved east. I know on my commute, I could barely see the lanes on I-90. And while it's not saying much, this is the worst I-90 has been all season. Of course, much of I-90 usually stays pretty good, so you know it's bad when I-90 is snow-covered.
And we're taking a live look now at WSU this morning, where you can see snow covered there down in the Palouse. But either way, as we wake up to this snow this morning, just know, be careful and give yourself extra time.
Now let's take you live outside to Riverfront Park with a look at current conditions, where you can see is much calmer right now. If you look closely, you can see snow-covered grassy areas, but the good news, much of that snow is starting to melt on the roadways. But of course, downtown, we know it tends to stay a little bit cooler or shaded because of the buildings, of course. So some of those roads might be a little bit dicey, so just keep that in mind.
And we do have some school changes this morning because of the snow. St. Mary's Joint School District is closed today. Pullman, Steptoe, and Garfield Palouse are all opening 2 hours late. In Colfax, buses will be on emergency snow routes and school will start on time. For updated school information, you can keep an eye on the ticker at the bottom of your screen.
Our weather impact team is here for you this morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Nicole Hernandez. Let's get right to meteorologist Thomas Patrick. Thomas, do we still have snow falling this morning across the region?
And the answer to that is yes, though mostly in North Idaho. Basically, as you get to state line and keep going east, you're just driving through snow all the way along I-90. Now, thankfully, road conditions have improved in Spokane since it stopped snowing at about 4:35 a.m. In Coeur d'Alene, still a different story. So plenty of snow-covered streets. And I do think the worst of it is still occurring basically between CDA and 4th of July Pass. That's going to be probably the most treacherous stretch of I-90 right now. I'm also noticing one other thing, and I'll illustrate it. It almost looks like the snow has really halted at the state line, meaning that the longer it snows over Coeur d'Alene, Hayden, Athol, Sandpoint, the more likely you get to 2 to 3 inches of snow versus just 1 to 2 inches of snow, which is what we saw over Spokane. One other location where the snow is actually quite heavy is between Rosalia, Tico, and Farmington. 195 would also be included in a treacherous stretch for a morning commute.
Taking a live look at I-90 now at Appleway, you can see compared to what we saw earlier around 2:30 this morning compared to now, I-90 looking much better, but still this is our most highly trafficked road in the region, so some of those less trafficked roads are going to have snow on them this morning. As for actual traffic concerns, we're not seeing any major backups along I-90 right now, but we are seeing some pretty major backups on Highway 95, both north and south of that Coeur d'Alene Hayden corridor, so be careful this morning.
And when severe weather hits our region, we do send out the KREM 2 storm tracker. You can see right now it is still snowing in North Idaho right now and will for much of the morning. Of course, we are under some winter weather advisories across much of North Idaho, pretty much all of it. And much of those alerts and advisories getting canceled in the Spokane area, which is good news, as Thomas has been telling us. So as we continue to track road conditions, we'll let you know what the impacts are throughout the morning here on Up with KREM.
Well, new this morning, in a 4-2 vote last night, the Post Falls City Council voted to remove Juneteenth as a city holiday. They also restored Columbus Day.
Post Falls Mayor Randy Westland says he believes Columbus Day is a better holiday honoring American heritage.
Juneteenth celebrates the actual end of slavery in the United States. And the abolition of slavery, I believe, is one of the crowning achievements of Western civilization and is certainly worthy of celebration. On the flip side, North America, as we know it, in the United States entirely would not exist if it were not for the expeditions of Christopher Columbus and other European explorers, which are also worth celebrating. So I don't know if you would consider doing an every other year type of thing, but I think both are very relevant to our history and worth celebrating.
I don't want to change the holiday schedule up. I think that's a lot of complexity. My own view is that Juneteenth is something that nobody had heard of until 5 years ago and was pushed for political purposes. And so I'm not in favor of having that in.
City Council members Joe Milloy and Nathan Ziegler, who voted against removing Juneteenth, argued that the holiday is still relevant even if people are just learning about it.
Spokane police are investigating a body that was pulled from the Spokane River on Monday. The man's body was near Front Avenue in the University District. People in the area saw something in the water and called police. So far, they have not said who the person was or how they died.
We'll take a look at the aftermath of a crash in North Spokane. The driver of a car crashed into a power pole, taking out power for some. The driver also hit a fire hydrant, sending water down a hill into the Morning Star Baptist Church basement. The water damaged blankets and comforters they had stored down there. This morning, the church is now asking for donations. They say those blankets and comforters were for shelters. The water flooded the church's parking lot and damaged the building's fire alarm and exits. The church says they will still be able to hold service and help the shelter.
Some of our guests were outside trying to keep the water from coming in. They were digging holes in the ground so the water could perhaps seep into that.
Jules Helping Hands, who helps run the shelter at the church, says they'll be doing donation drives at all of their shelters today. If you want to help out, we have a link on our website, KREM.com.
6:06 right now, a push by Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown to put Spokane under an interim emergency ordinance that would prohibit the use of private property for detention facilities in the city of Spokane. This comes as the Department of Homeland Security seeks to get new ICE detention facilities. This ordinance would restrict private property owners from leasing to DHS, ICE, or other entities for detention purposes. If passed, the ordinance would immediately go into effect for 1 year. It could then be permanently incorporated into the City of Spokane's development regulations as part of the comprehensive plan update.
A sad update this morning in high school basketball. Medical Lake High School student and member of the boys basketball team, Owen Pitts, has passed away. Pitts was battling terminal cancer. The team made the announcement on Facebook yesterday. They had honored him earlier this season and gave him an impromptu graduation on the court.
In our Boomtown series, we track growth across the region, including the growing workforce in the inland Northwest. Senator Maria Cantwell visited Spokane to announce plans for a new affordable child care center. In Hilliard, a new affordable child care center will offer space for 100 children. The goal here is to provide more flexible child care hours for Spokane's working families.
And I have kids with special needs, you know, and so this community center opens up so many doors for me. It opens up so many doors for fellow parents that I know that, you know, not only have children with special needs that are like, oh, I don't know if my kid's, the daycare is going to call me in 5 minutes and say, hey, we can't do this.
How can you make an investment in a community that then allows it to grow economically? So this is great that it's childcare.
Officials say they are hoping to break ground this fall with an anticipated opening in 2028.
Time is 6:08. I'm going to show you the winter weather advisories that are currently in effect for the region. For Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, that goes until 10 a.m. Obviously, still snowing in Coeur d'Alene and a few spots towards the Palouse. So we're going to hold on to those advisories for a couple hours longer. Sandpoint and Bonners Ferry got added to the advisory within the past hour. That goes until 3 p.m. for a chance of afternoon snow showers. And Lookout Pass is also under the advisory until 10 p.m. later on tonight. That's right, more scattered snow showers this afternoon, but still dealing with a bit of widespread snow over North Idaho right now.
Gosh, this is absolutely crazy video here. A truck in Oregon went airborne and crashed into a house. This happened just west of Portland. Police say the driver was speeding and driving recklessly before the crash.
So apparently the driver hit a dirt mound, cleared a retaining wall, and traveled about 100 feet into the home. Okay, here's the good news. Of course, no one inside the home was hurt, and the driver and passenger only had minor injuries.